Hey everybody, welcome to OMCI Songwriter Night. My name is Connory and I'm here with Jessie, Jessica, Braden, and Tori. We're going to be sharing some songs, talking about them, chatting about how we wrote them, etc., etc. So why don't we just start it off with a tune? Jessie, want to take it away?
Okay, I feel special for going first. Well, so I'm starting off with that. Sorry to be typical of me, but it actually doesn't have a name yet. I just finished it yesterday, so you guys are like special. You get to be the first people to hear it. Basically, I was having a hard time thinking of how I was going to explain this song actually, because it's just kind of like a feeling. But I thought of the chorus a long time ago, and it was for a different song called Perfect Socks. And then I hated the verses after a while, and so did everybody else. They're like, but don't get rid of the chorus. So then I was like, okay, I'll build another song around the chorus. And then yesterday I was like, I want a new song for tomorrow, so I did that then. And it was funny, my friends Jessica and Owen actually helped me with some ideas for it. Jessica, who is here, and Owen, who's probably going to be watching soon. But anyways, basically I was thinking of it when I was driving home after, like, I just went on a drive, because sometimes when I'm having a blah day, I go on a drive and see if that will make me feel any better for a change. And then I realized that it wasn't a change, because I would take the same route every time and always had the same destination, which was back home. And that's comforting and nice, but sometimes that feels a little bit suffocating. So anyways, I wrote this. If I leave a trace, it'll stay right here in between these walls. A tight-fisted embrace to show that you're right here, but that I'm enthralled. And if I go away, well, it won't be to stay. I'll come back to what I know. Those winding roads and old pine trees smell the comfort. I'm headed home. The long driveway just kissed by rain. Step inside, but I'm not warm. Maybe it's the street lights crushing me. They grow on this road that I have lived upon. All these years I've never just gone crazy in this place. Till you came around, it only took one day. You showed me all the things I could have been, all the things I should have been. So it hangs in the air, seeps into my clothes, so it always looms. It's not quite despair, it's the lingering of what never bloomed. 'Cause when I went away, well, it wasn't to stay. I came back to those winding roads and old pine trees smell the comfort. I'm headed home. The long driveway just kissed by rain. I'll step inside, but I'm not warm. Maybe it's the street lights crushing me. They grow on this road. All these years I've never just thought maybe things could change. Till you came around, it only took one day. You showed me all the things I could have been, all the things I should have been. Whoa. Is it too late now? Is it too late now? I think I'll stay here a while.
beautiful. Thank you, Jessie. I loved the abrupt change right in the middle there, harmonically. That was beautiful.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I want to ask how that bridge came about, because those chords go like way out of left field, it seems like, for the bridge, and just seems like totally different chords. How did that come out of the chorus and all that stuff?
Yeah, I just for the bridge, I don't know. It was actually the first part I thought of that I was gonna write, and I didn't really know how I was gonna think of a melody for it actually. But yeah, sorry, that wasn't a very good explanation.
Yeah.
It's a cool chord change, though. Really cool chord change.
Yeah, it was awesome. That was awesome. Why don't we just get a bunch of songs out willy-nilly, and then we can discuss them all once everybody's got a turn. So why don't we get something from Jessica?
Yeah, for sure. I can go next. So I'm just gonna. This one's pretty new. I finished writing it today, but it's kind of just like a first draft. So yeah, it doesn't even have a name yet. So you guys are getting a lot of fresh material tonight.
Pass you in a blur. Use some callous mistranslation to the woman you once were. Do you think you're better off now? Do you remember what it was to burn? What it was to burn? Castles in the sand.
Ooh.
And that's that one.
Nice.
Thank you.
That's heavy. That's heavy.
Thanks. Just specialize in it.
Yeah, we got two sad girls over here.
Yeah.
Tori, you have to live up to the sad girl standard that they've been setting. Do you think you can do it?
I'm not worried. Truly not worried. This is the song that I'm gonna play first is a very sad song. I wrote it a couple of years ago, but I think it's the song that has absolutely stuck with me the most because I think it's one of the most honest songs that I've ever written. It's kind of like a love letter to the end of a relationship. I almost imagined it. I wrote this like 5 minutes at a time every single night for like 4 months. Because songwriting is how I process what is going on around me and what I'm feeling and experiencing. So there was so much emotion associated with it that it took me so many little bits of time to be able to actually trudge through it all. And it's a song for me, at least, about like things coming to a close and realizing what the world looks like around you in a new chapter and how to function within it. And I wrote that as kind of like, it was a goodbye for me, but a really special one. So this is called End of an Era. How you doing? Wow, it's really nice to see you again. Yes, I've been busy teaching all my broken pieces how to mend. All alone, had I known that you'd be here, I swear I would have gone straight home. I would have gone home. You look happy. I really hope you found someone who treats you well. And have you missed me? If you'd somehow, it's really hard to tell. Yet you can see straight through me. There's no fairy tale that I could try out. There's nothing here to sell. So please forgive me for the tears I shed to the loss of a love and a loss of a friend. It was easy to let you in, and now you stand here in front of me like nothing ever happened. But it's the end of an era. The end of an era. I believe you. So let's not make this any harder than it is. We don't need feelings. And if we did, well, I've got nothing left to give. You took it all and let me fall to the cold, hard ground, my world caving in. I gave you everything. So please forgive me for the tears I shed as I look into your eyes and I lose you all again. It was easy to let you back in, that I could trust you, and I said I could pretend. Now it's the end of an era. The end of an era. So I'm gonna leave soon before I give to you the last bit of my pride. It doesn't matter, it's already yours. I can say I tried before I go. back to my own. I say I hope you never feel this way inside, and then we'll say goodbye to the end of an era, the end of an era. Is that sad enough for you?
Okay. Jeez. All right. Well, the bar is set pretty high or low. I don't even know. The sadness bar set high, happiness bar set low. Braden, why don't we try and pick it up a notch here?
I think, well, I may as well start with the song that I'm releasing on Thursday.
Oh.
And it's called Little Hell. So I guess we're sticking with the vibe of me stuff.
All the way down.
Yeah, way down the flames. But this song, some songs kind of come differently. Like sometimes you start with the music and then you start writing words on top of that. Sometimes one like line just kind of comes out of nowhere, and that was this song. Sometimes it's when I'm in the shower too. I don't know. That's like, I guess it's a cliche that people sing in the shower, but sometimes like melodies just pop up in my head in the shower for some reason, and it's not ideal because I can't get my voice recorder as quick. But it's funny because I did record that as soon as I got out of the shower, just that idea, which is the chorus. And it was on June 23rd, 2019, which is nice that Voice Recorders has like the date and time for when you do all that, because it's cool to remember that, because I never would have realized when I actually came up with this thing. But so that day I came up with the chorus, and then in that clip, that voice recording that I have, I'm trying to work out the chords, and I'm trying to do like all this intricate stuff, you know, to make it sound like really cool, and like I know a lot of chords and stuff like that, but it just came down to E, D, and A. That's it. It's just E, D, and A. Of course. Yeah. So, but I lived with my bass player in my band at the time, and I had another buddy who's a songwriter come over, and we worked that out. He just got a lap steel at the time too, and he was playing around with that, and that sort of ended up on the recording. I'll quit rambling here, get to the song. But it took a long time to write this one. Like I had the chorus from like the start. Like I had the words, the chorus, like as soon as I came up with the melody, I had those words. But the verses just changed and changed and changed. It started off with like, Mama told me, and then I was like, yeah, it's kind of sounding like Leonard Skinner. Should probably change that up a bit. And so it's called Little Hell. I love the legend of Robert Johnson, which is that he went to the crossroads, sold his soul to the devil so he can play the blues really well. And I kind of took that theme and applied it to the verses. And then I threw in a key change at the end for good measure, just because I've never done that. So this is Little Hell. It's also, I should mention, a really rockin' song. So I'm gonna kind of tone it down for the acoustic version, singing a low register. Darling, won't you save me from myself? I need your love because I'm going through a little hell. Darling, won't you save me from myself? I need your love because I'm going through a little hell. Well, I went down to the crossroads. I met a man who said I could rock and roll. All I gotta do is sell my soul. So I'm rocking it tonight for you. But soon I'm gonna burn in hell. I'm gonna rock on down there too. So darling, won't you save me from myself? I need your love because I'm going through a little hell. Darling, won't you save me from myself? surrounded by the flame, with a whole bunch of bad company and nobody but myself to blame. So I guess I better sing the blues, 'cause that is what I paid for. That is what I'm gonna do. Darling, won't you save me from myself? I need your love because I'm going through a little. Oh, baby, won't you save me from myself? I need your love because I'm going through a little hell. Well, I'm going through a little hell. I am going through a little hell. I am going through a little hell. Yes, I am going through a little hell. So darling, won't you save me from myself? I need your love because I'm going through a little hell. Oh, well, now save me from myself. Oh, now I need your love because I'm going through a little hell. Darling, won't you save me from myself? I need your love because I'm going through a little hell. Oh, baby, won't you save me from myself? Well, I need your love because I'm going through a little hell.
I'll trash can the drums for you. There you go. Sweet. All right, that was awesome. Well, we got through one round here, and I feel like we got a healthy dose of all of you as far as the running the gamut of songwriter capabilities. So that was awesome. Thank you for. I mean, I just get to sit here and be entertained, so I appreciate you guys playing. I'll ask a couple of questions here, just because I mean that's what we're here to do. Talk about songwriting. Braden, that song, I feel like when you acoustify something that's like full band, there are like certain decisions that you have to make.
Yeah.
And I mean, like lowering your vocals was probably one of them. Do you feel like your songs still hit in the same way, without a band as they do with a band? And
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No.
You feel like it's kind of like a dumbed down version a little bit?
Well, no, it has a totally different impact. Like with a big rock band, you feel it, you like in your body, like the drums, the bass, everything, like you feel the song. Whereas acoustic, where it's just an acoustic guitar and vocals, you feel it, but you also kind of like, you just absorb it in a different way, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's and when you're trying to switch a rock and roll song to an acoustic song, obviously I think Kurt Cobain was the king of that when he did the MTV
Unplugged
concert. Like, no, I don't think anybody going into that thought that was going to go well. Like Smells Like Teen Spirit going in there with acoustic guitar. Like, I just don't think anybody expected what that concert turned out to be. And then this is kind of new, playing this song on acoustic, because on the record my bridge, like I sing like that as like a harmony throughout the whole verse, just underneath to give it some texture. But I'm like really kind of yelling at the song pretty much the whole time. So it's definitely a challenge to change your song's genre. Almost.
Do you, Tori, maybe you can speak on this too, because I know that you've performed a lot with the backing band as well. Is that true, or am I lying?
Well, I don't know about anybody else, but for me, I find that like I write things in a very acoustic, raw manner. I don't like recording or writing with tracks. Like, I like to keep it really simple and then go from there. So I think what I try and do when I go to working with a full band is amplify the things about the song that give it the energy that's different than the acoustic version. So I think that, like, it depends on what your intentions are, because, you know, when you take like a really high energy rock song and you strip it down to an acoustic song, there's a lot you can do with it, but it works the same way when it's the inverse situation. So I think there's a lot more to play with when you go to like a full band track, which is really exciting. But I think also a lot of the time it changes the intentions of the song, which is also really cool.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that specifically with your song, Tori. I feel like that song with accompaniment would kind of just like float and kind of feel good, and it would get the message across. But I think in the acoustic format especially, like, I focus way more on the lyrical content when things are stripped back. And I think, Braden, you're talking about that Nirvana MTV Unplugged performance. I think that's why that was so powerful. It was like all of a sudden his lyricism was shown. And I think this is kind of a cool format of like taking these songs and exposing them like that, because they are exposed a lot more. You can't really hide behind production in the way that you can with like a full band or whatever. Yeah, Jessica and Jessie, do you guys perform with a band? I actually don't know.
I don't, because I just started sort of like getting really good at putting songs like fully together this year, and nobody can see each other this year, so I haven't really had any opportunity to do that yet. But I think it's interesting when Braden and Tori bring up their songwriting processes, because for me it's a little bit different. Like I know exactly, not exactly, but I have a very good idea of what instruments I want to put into this song later on. Like, I write acoustically, but I'm thinking, okay, these are the drums we're going to use, and this is the instrument we're going to put in when we're recording this. And like, that's just, it sort of goes along with the song process, and it's kind of helps me build the melodies and the stuff, because I sort of build a lot around that, and then I don't execute it great because I'm working with MIDI drums in Logic, but I try my best. And yeah, I think that once I have the ability to sort of be around people who can just play the drums and who can play the bass and who can give me other instruments, sort of when I say, oh, let's put some of this in, that's gonna be really, really cool. And I think that for my songwriting process, that's gonna help it a bit, actually.
Yeah, definitely is a different ballgame. Jessie.
Yeah, I also have not played with any bands. Kind of similar boat. Before I would have been, honestly, if you caught me like 3 years ago, I would have been like, I'm never going to learn any other instruments. I'm just going to sing my songs with the ukulele. So good thing that changed.
Yeah, well done.
But anyways, I only started really wanting a band to play with me like this past year. And now it's kind of really hard to do that. And also, I never really, before OMCI, I didn't really know a lot of musicians. I knew like the musicians at my school who played like the trumpet, which is cool, but wouldn't really help me out too much.
Get them in the band.
Yeah. So anyways, I haven't really had many chances to, but that's why I'm really excited to go. I'm going to school for music next year, and I'm really excited to hopefully at some point be in person with all those people and be able, if I need some drums, to just be like, hey, my friend in this class, do you want to do something together? And it would just be really fun. And that's another, like, a nice thing with OMCI is we can do that virtually, but I feel like it'll be very fun when I can do that in person with people, for sure. Mm-hmm. And I definitely want to add more instruments to my songs. Like, I write them acoustically, and sometimes it's hard for me to think of what I would want in there, but I kind of want another creative to be like, oh, you know what would sound really good in here? Sometimes I'm like missing that. Sometimes I know, but a lot of the times I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as a producer, that's like something that like the producer does really well too, as well. Like that's a fun part of the songwriting process for sure. Is like going, hey, what if we added this? You know, Braden, you were gonna say something?
Yeah, I just think this is a good opportunity to give a shout out to fellow OMCI musician Braden Foulkes, who is the percussionist and drummer on my upcoming album. Ooh. And without that guy, this album would not sound nearly as thumping, I should say, I guess.
Yeah. But, shout out Brandon for sure.
Yeah, if you want, like, that guy nailed every single track I sent him. So I know you can't jam with him yet, but if you want to virtually jam with him, I guess send me songs.
Yeah.
He's okay with
Yeah, interdepartmental shout outs are what it's all about. All right. So Jessie, why don't we hear you solo before the band enters, before your big band era? We got to get you acoustic again.
Yeah, this is special. I'll only sound like this maybe I'll like find a band and then decide I like acoustic, but I feel
You hate them all.
So this song is kind of interesting. Also, can I just say, you guys are kind of lucky that I'm okay, that sounds mean, but I don't like to normally explain my songs because I just find, I don't know, I write them so people can interpret them. And this one is kind of a weird one because it was about a dream I had, and it was a bad dream, but I liked this guy, and the dream was basically like a very vivid interpretation of our whole relationship played out, and horribly. So it's like my subconscious being like, can you not like this person? It would not go well. And I mean, it's not like anything interesting has been happening to me lately, and I was trying to, maybe it was a gift, because at that time I was like, what am I going to write a song about? And then that dream was so like dramatic and interesting, I was like, great, that's a great idea, I'm gonna do that. So sorry to tell you that none of it's real when I sing it, and also it's sad again, so sorry to do that to you again. But yeah, so it was interesting concept, but it's cool, I like it. And I used it for my university audition. I wrote it like just the day before, because every time I have to do an audition or something like this, I look into my repertoire and think, I want a new song, and then write a new song. So just like I did with the last song. Yeah, it's called Late December, because the dream was like taking place around Christmas time for some reason. It was nowhere even near Christmas. I don't know why that happened. My subconscious works in strange ways. Days spent dreaming make the night's vivid truth in the dark. I've gone and dried out all my fantasies, so you infect my bad dreams, make your mark. Only then I see you as a boy, using words that should be my forewarning. And at dawn that image takes your glory. Close my eyes, I'll forget by the morning. But each time I do, I lose the thought of you. Who you are becomes a blur. But unless that's true, I just can't love you. I might have known that from the start, even if deep in my heart. It's not just a one-night occurrence. Close my eyes and you're there till the end. But a new dream stuck with me this Sunday, where the air was so crisp and so cold. It was late December, pounding steps, you turned around, held your eyes to the ground. as that.
Can I just say that I cannot wait until we can do this in person, because I think that the only thing that is really sucks about being virtual in this is that we can't all play along with you. Like, in person we could be like soloing on each other's stuff and like making rhythms, and that's so cool, and we can't do that. It makes me so sad, but that was so cool.
It looked like you were jamming out there, Tori.
Yeah, Tori just wants to rip a solo so bad. that was beautiful, Jessie. Say, the dream songwriting thing is perfect. People do it with movies, you know. It works. It works.
Yeah, and I was like, well, it's not like anything else interesting is going to happen, so I'm just going to use that.
How often do you write fictitiously?
Not that often, actually, because it's kind of hard for me to like care about a song. And this one was different because it felt like I had such a clear idea because it all was in a dream. It was very strange, but I've written like 2 other songs that didn't happen at all. Actually, you know what? Maybe it's not that hard for me because I actually like those 2 other songs. I just don't have as much motivation usually. Like, those songs normally take longer to finish.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to think of a realistic situation. So.
Right. That makes sense. Jessica, you're up next year, so I'll ask the same question to you. How often do you write fictitiously?
Oh, this is hard because sometimes I write songs and I like to say they're fictitious just so that nobody knows.
Yeah. Yeah, same.
But yeah, I do like to. I think I sort of like to combine the process of, because like things will happen to me, and I'll be like, okay, this wasn't really that dramatic, but let's pretend that this happened and let's add a little bit of spice into it, and that, you know, makes for a great song. So yeah, there's definitely songs that I've written that have been completely like real and honest to myself, and there are songs that I've written that have been like that never happened to me at all, and I just made it all up and I'm just talking about it, or even like from another person's perspective and stuff like that. But most of the time I combine the 2 and I take a little bit of something that happened to me or even something I thought about that could happen to me, and I just play with that idea and write a song around it. So yeah, sort of like 50-50.
Yeah, that makes sense. So then the question is, what about this song, the one coming up? Fictitious?
So this one is fictitious. It's just I was inspired by there was this poet I really like. His name is Richard Sykin. I think I'm terrible at pronouncing things, but he's got some really cool stuff. And there's just one of these lines in his poems, and it's just talking about like how relationships just end. Like, every single relationship you'll ever have in your life is just gonna end one day, and it doesn't even matter. It won't be sad. It'll just be over. This is not gonna be a happy song. Just letting you guys know. We're not getting uplifted yet. But yeah, and I just thought, oh my god, that's so true and terrifying. Like, you either, like, life is just, you love people and then you never see them again, and it's terrible and sad. So I wrote a song about it, because I'm good at taking terrible and sad things and putting them into songs. But it's very short, and it's really short. But I wanted to show it because it's one of my favorite things that I've done lyrically recently, and yeah, I've talked to you guys about, you know, the drums and stuff that I think of in my head, and I'm pretty happy with how I recorded this one recently. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. But this is the acoustic, sort of more stripped version of it. And it's called Bury Me. So I'll just get right into that.
Are you gonna bury me like a child in the sand? A closed casket memory, purple flowers in your hand. Will it hurt too much to see my face on a stranger in the crowd? I'm gonna hold you, and you will hold me back. You are not a given in any of my plans. I don't do it first.
And that's the whole song. It's short.
What? What a decision.
I'm sorry, this is such a downer.
That is incredible. That was great. I
you.
actually respect the decision to keep it that short so hard. That's a
you.
great decision.
I was really thinking about it, and because I wrote this and this never happens to me. It takes me a bajillion years to write a song. I write songs and 2 years later I come back to it and finish it. But I wrote this in like 20 minutes, and I was like, I can't touch this. This is like really good. Not to brag or anything, but
No, it's
I was
solid.
really happy with how it turned out. So thank you. I'm glad you respect that decision to keep it short, because I felt, like that was the right choice too.
Yeah, I think there's like I think in general, songwriting in music in general is like kind of becoming more and more streamlined, especially in like a lot of like other genres outside of folk music. And I always love when like traditional songwriting structures borrow from kind of like new songwriting structures, like, you know, like half of the trap that I listen to is like a minute long, maybe,
Yeah,
you know,
it's
and that's always
shorter.
cool. And like, yeah, when a folk song is like, yeah, like a minute and 15 seconds or whatever that was, it's
Yeah.
great. It's so concise. That's all you need. Then you want to listen to it again, just play it again, you know?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that.
So, Tori, are we going to continue this, this sad girl theme or what?
Okay, it's complicated, so bear with me.
Okay,
But
that's
first,
fair.
I want to say, Jessica, that was incredibly beautiful, and I never had my heart ripped out of my chest in such a poetic and respectful way. So thank you for that. Please never change it, and please record it now and release it so that I can listen to it
Already
constantly.
done. Okay.
Then send it to me. I want it so bad. I need it in my life. Sad songs. Okay, so this is technically a sad song, but it's fast, so it doesn't feel as sad. And I'm really bad at writing happy songs. Probably for a bunch of reasons that we won't get into today. But I'm a songwriter for a reason. It's my thing. And so, but this is a fast song, which makes me think that it's not as sad. Like, if you actually listen to the lyrics, it's sad, but it's like a sad bop. So it's like 40% sad, but it doesn't feel sad, so it's fine. It counts. How does it go? There we go. I actually wrote this with a friend of mine, Brian Donkers, years ago when I was like 17. And then we got back together when I was like 19 and tweaked it a little bit. Wrote the first verse and also the second verse and the bridge, but only like halfway. And it's just, I love the song so much, so let me know what you think. I burned all the photographs, the picture frames of shattered glass, and your favorite coffee mug is broken too. I sold that old guitar you played, and all the baseball cards you saved, yeah, everything you'd never want to lose. And I've painted walls and I've emptied shelves, but it's no use. I can't cover up, I can't throw away feeling you. So I try crying all night and cursing your name. Go out with friends, fake smile my way through old cliches. I it all. There's nothing left. I thought this was the end, but I can't get you out of my head. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. It feels wrong to flirt with someone new. It's like everyone I meet already knows that your touch, your kiss, the way you left are haunting me, and they won't let this broken heart let anybody close. Even though I try crying all night and cursing your name. Go out with friends, fake smile my way through old cliches. I've done it all. There's nothing left. I thought this was the end, but I can't get you out of my head. like only 30% sad.
No, I mean, there's probably a lot of sad punks out there, but you don't know because their songs are fast, so it works. It totally works. Braden,
Yep.
you got a fast song? You got a sad song?
Yeah.
The theme I came up with at the beginning, based on the first two songs, is falling apart here. So.
Yeah, I was gonna sing my thrash metal song about my cat dying.
Yeah, there we go. It's not sad. It's fast.
No, well, I was on the fence. I have 2 more singles coming out before the album releases, and I guess the first side of the album is like all bummy and like heavy music, dark lyrics. Second side of the album is light music, light lyrics, and I was on the fence. I may as well stick with the darker side of
Heck
darker
yeah.
songs, I guess. So this one also has a decent story behind it too, I guess. This one's called Done With It All, and I had a band for a while called the Rabble Rousers, and it was just with my buddies, and we played the Cameron House in Toronto, which is a pretty well-known indie venue, and it's always, like, I went there the year before with my cousin just to see a band, and I was like, damn, I gotta play this place, and then a year later, we did, which was really cool, and we have a lot of friends in Toronto. We sold the place out, the back room, rockin' show. We played 2 sets till like 2 a.m. It was like the rock and roll dream. It was so much fun. And one buddy who really loves music, but he doesn't really play music that much or at all, just was really excited for the show, but just got so belligerent. He did not see any of it. He was not there for the show. He was there, but he was not there. At one point, I think like the bouncer was throwing him out, and he started elbowing the wall just to prove how tough he was. And I was like, damn, that's kind of inspiring. I might write a song about that.
At least something came out of it, yeah.
Exactly. And like on the way home, I was like, yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to write a song about that. And it like that sort of started it, and then all these other lyrical influences came into it. The music was really inspired by Jason Isbell, who that guy and another guy in my band turned me on to, so I thought it kind of fit. And especially the song Anxiety, just because the lyrics of that song are so like deep and relatable, and he wasn't afraid to go there. And the song is like heavy, and it's a mix of heavy and light. It's really cool. Like the opening is really heavy, so I kind of took that formula for my song. So I'll show you that one now. And I switched it from Elbow the Wall to Done With It All, just to make it sound more relatable, I guess. I went out last night. I drank every drink inside. Son, you'd be better off dead. So now I'm home from bed. The boys in the band came to play. I tell you, I just couldn't wait. Oh, what I would give just to be right up there with them. Just thinking, Jim. Now I once again had a lapse in judgment. Tried for so long to keep cool and calm, but my thoughts go off like a bomb. So I'll drink till I fall. Be done with it all. I dove into a view. A glass of cool water would do. But of course I refused. I'll take it, IPA
Yeah.
Like,
That was not what I was expecting for that story.
no.
You brought a lot of other I guess like emotions and feelings in that
Yeah,
I feel like we're thematically linked to that kind of state of mind and stuff. I liked it a lot.
for sure. I mean, it's not something 20 some odd year old guys want to go into very often, but we all go through some pretty serious mental states, you know, sometimes. And
Yeah.
he has gone through them. I've gone through them. Other friends and families gone through them, and I kind of mashed them all those feelings into one song. Yeah, just thought I'd go for something a bit more emotional.
Yeah, no, it works. I mean, you rounded off the theme very nicely. So we got through the 2 rounds of songs and kept it pretty sad. So
Pretty sad, but we're all happy here.
Go us.
we're we are happy, but you know, we're sad as well.
Sad songwriters, happy people.
Yeah.
Sad songwriters.
That's it.
We're emotional. That's what we are really good at identifying our feelings and expressing them.
That's it.
Have water placements in our astrology chart.
Of course, Jessica comes in with the astrology. Perfect. Well, it's been a pleasure, you guys. I was just looking at the time, and it seems like we got 5 minutes left here. So I just wanted to say, how do you guys feel about bringing in those real life stories that we talked about and not exposing too much of like the people involved? Because Braden, that's like one that's like about a real story that's like, you know, an embarrassing moment or like a hard moment for somebody. Do you guys ever like have to deal with like shrouding those moments through lyricism?
I haven't told that guy yet, by the way.
Yeah.
He knows now.
Yeah.
He knows now.
Yeah, I don't tell people if I write a song. I don't know. It's weird. It's not, and it's nice to share the stories behind songs, but I think there's kind of a line between like sometimes like it's whatever you're comfortable with, I think, and I don't know. I like to keep some space between myself and my work sometimes, but yeah, it's definitely hard to sort of lift that back a little bit and be really personal and exposed with that.
Yeah. I mean, when I write pretty shrouded as well, and so I totally understand that. I just feel like everybody kind of has a different level of like security in their songwriting, you know? Like Tori, Jessie, do you want to speak on that?
I know one of the things that I try and do is I focus on writing the emotions that I feel something. I focus on like sharing the way that things feel to me and the way that I experience them, rather than talking about, like, I try and use like visuals in a very nondescript way. So rather than being like, oh, it was December 6th and you hit me with your car and in that moment I knew that I was in love, I focus more on like, you know, the cold that hit my cheeks in the second that I knew, or something, rather than like, you know, time and place. I think about the feelings that I experience every way. So like what I smell, what I see, what I touch, versus the world around me. And I think that helps a lot, because it's not only are you not calling somebody out like a really descriptive way, which is fine, but it's also, I find in my own experience, more relatable to the people that are into it, because I think we've all experienced that head rush feeling at some point in our life, but it's not because you're, you know, at some point partner hit you with your car or something, but we can all relate to that feeling, but not necessarily that experience. So that's what I do.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think that's like the way that I think a lot of songwriters deal with it is just kind of go for like the general thing that a lot of people can relate to, as far as being like, hey, anybody out here ever, you know, like, yeah, got hit by their partner's car, like super specific niche thing that, you know, that happened to you. I'm sorry, Tori. But yeah, Jessie, do you want to speak on that at all?
Yeah, I definitely changed my approach. When I first started writing songs, my main audience, my target audience was my family at like dinners, right? And I would write songs. I'd be like, "Grandma, I'm gonna write a song for you, and I'm gonna sing it for you tomorrow." And I would bring her the song. I would show her the lyrics if she wanted, and it was cute, right? And now it's like most of the people who I don't write songs about like people all the time, but when I do, they're usually people who don't even listen to my songs. So I like to have references that are good enough that like if they listen, they'd be like, is that about me? But I also want it to be something that isn't like too, because I actually was listening to this thing about how it's kind of interesting when you put in a really specific thing in your life or in a relationship or something, because then it makes it different from other songs, but then you need to make it so people can understand what that meant to you. Do you know what I mean? So like I might put in something kind of specific, but then I feel like somehow lyrically or even just with the way I'm singing about it need to convey how that made me feel. Like
Yeah, that's the important part of songwriting, is like how the emotion is, like the exploration of that, for sure, instead of just like writing down what literally, that's a diary, you know, like that. Like writing, so that's a travel log or whatever, you know. I think that's a great point, is like always connecting it to an emotion, right?
exactly.
Well, and I think another cool thing is that, like, the same way that there's different types of writers or different types of poets, there's different types of songwriters. And as we grow as songwriters, our approaches can change. And there are, like, storytelling songwriters that focus specifically on the details. And I think a great example of that is the new projects coming out from Taylor Swift, where it's all storyline based. And there's so many like visual details and names and faces and like constructing this narrative that you can follow. But I think that it's also important to recognize that there's a very different goal there, right? It's to tell a story. Almost like you're narrating it versus it's experiencing it yourself. So I think, you know, also being able to dabble in those different types of songwriting is a really cool experience, and a great way to also just practice technical skills of writing. I try and do that myself, and I really struggle with it. I really struggle with storytelling writing, but I think that it's also a really cool opportunity to try things that you haven't necessarily before.
Yeah, totally. I think that that's a great point, and I'll say too, like with the Taylor Swift thing, the narration versus pure expression dichotomy is interesting. I know that Justin Vernon of Bon Iver added some vocals onto the Folklore album, and he's somebody I always think to when I think of like pure expressionism in songwriting. Very little storytelling going on.
Yeah. You listen to a Bon Iver song, you're like, I have no idea what he just said, but I know exactly what he means by that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think that that's a cool dichotomy.
And then you have songwriters like Donovan Woods who have like the perfect conglomeration of both, where he's telling a story, experiencing it at the same time, and there isn't too much detail that you feel dissociated from it, but you know, just enough that it catches you with the story, and that's really incredible as well.
Yeah, totally. That's it's a holistic approach, is something I feel like we're all trying to achieve at some point, you know. But yeah, thank you guys all for being on here, and I hope we get to do this again soon. We probably will. Braden, you got a track coming out. When is that track coming out? When's the album coming
Thursday, May 6th. Album's out June 18th.
out? Awesome, cool.
Exciting
Those
times.
Braden, your name, how do we find it on the internet?
You just type it in.
Sweet. Braden Foulkes. Okay, sweet. That works. Anybody else want to plug anything before we wrap up?
Any new artists out there who are watching this right now, aspiring songwriters, OMCI has a summer program, and applications are still open for like all of the jobs, including artist positions. So go check it out. Apply if you want to improve your songwriting skills, or you think that this might be something you're interested in. It's OntarioMusicians.com.
Baba Booey, there we go. Join us. All right.
Joy.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming out, and thank you guys for watching. Until next time, peace out.